When I tell you Huntsville is on fire, I mean it's truly on fire. Melody Shari just set the entire city ablaze with one TikTok live that had everybody talking, speculating, and taking sides. What started as a casual live quickly turned into one of the most talked about moments in love and marriage, Huntsville history. Because this time, Melody didn't hold back. She spoke her truth in that calm but cutting way that only she can, and when she finished, the internet was in complete shock. People were replaying her words, decoding her shade, and realizing that the so-called peaceful version of Melody has limits, and those limits have officially been tested. Everything began when Melody decided to go live on TikTok. Fans expected her to maybe talk about her kids, her brand, or some motivation like she usually does. But instead, she came with a message. A message that didn't have names at first, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. It all centered around the Fletchers, Chris and Nell, and the behind-the-scenes fakeness that's apparently been going on in Huntsville. Now, if you followed this cast long enough, you already know there's always a lot happening behind smiles and polite words. People say God bless on camera but throw shade in group chats. They hug for the cameras and then run their mouths as soon as filming wraps. And according to what Melody hinted at, that's exactly what's been happening again. So, on this TikTok live, Melody dropped a line that instantly went viral. She said, "It's always the ones who act like they praying for you that be plotting against you. And if you raise messy kids, don't get mad when they grow up to be messy adults." Now, that might sound general to someone who doesn't know the backstory, but the people of Huntsville knew exactly who she meant. Fans immediately connected the dots and said, "Oh, she's talking about the Fletchers." And once that connection was made, the drama exploded. Comments were flying, fans were tagging people, and you could almost feel the tension from the screen. See, rumors had already been spreading that Nell Fletcher, who many see as the pray for everyone type, has been smiling in Melody's face while talking behind her back. People claimed Nell had been dropping small jabs about Melody in conversations, acting like she's above the drama, but secretly contributing to it. And if that's true, it's not surprising that Melody finally had enough. Because we've watched her keep her peace for years while people provoked her. We've seen her let things slide when others would have gone off. But there comes a point where being silent isn't peace anymore, it's just holding in too much. And it seems like that's exactly where Melody was when she decided to speak her mind. Now, what made this even messier was the reaction. Team Melody, her fans, the millimeters, went wild. They said Melody finally said what needed to be said. They felt like she'd been quiet long enough while people used her name to stay relevant. But then you had the other side, folks connected to the Fletchers, who tried to downplay it, saying Melody was being shady for no reason. Nell herself allegedly started calling around, acting confused, saying she didn't know why Melody would say that and that she never talked bad about her. But the streets of Huntsville don't lie. People have been whispering for a long time that Nell's been way too comfortable around Martell lately, trying to act like a mediator but really just stirring up more problems. And let's be honest, anyone cozying up to Martell after everything he's done to Melody is going to raise eyebrows. Speaking of Martell Holt, you already know he's somewhere loving every minute of this. Word going around is that Martell's been lurking on Melody's TikTok lives, watching every single one like it's his favorite TV show. And it probably is, because let's not pretend he doesn't love when Melody's name is in the headlines. He might try to act like he's moved on, but deep down, Martell can't stand when she gets attention that isn't tied to him. He's the same man who dragged her name through the mud for years, so of course he'd love to see her caught up in drama again. But what he fails to understand is that Melody is still standing and stronger than ever. Let's not forget that Chris Fletcher has always been Martell's little sidekick. When the whole cheating scandal first broke, Chris acted clueless. He played dumb like he didn't know what was going on, and then later tried to rewrite the story like he was innocent. Please. People have been calling him out for years, saying he's been playing both sides, pretending to be neutral while secretly feeding Martell information. And if Melody finally caught wind of all that, her clapback makes perfect sense. She's been smiling through snakes for too long, and she finally decided to expose the energy she's been dealing with. Then there's the line about the kids. That's the part that really sent social media into chaos. Melody allegedly said, "Sometimes when you see kids acting wild, it's because they're watching their parents do the same thing." That statement split the internet in half. Some people said she went too far and shouldn't have mentioned children at all. But others defended her, saying she wasn't attacking kids, she was talking about behavior and the example parents set. And honestly, that's what it sounded like. Melody's words hit home because they were too real for some people. They weren't about one specific child, they were about grown folks who act messy and then wonder why the next generation follows the same path. In the middle of all this chaos, Melody's mom, Miss Van, stepped in like the graceful queen she is. Without naming names, she posted, "When the enemy can't touch your blessings, they'll try to use people close to you. Stay covered." That right there was a direct message wrapped in scripture. Miss Van doesn't have to call anyone out, her wisdom cuts deep all by itself. And fans immediately knew who she was referring to. It's clear she saw what was happening and wanted to remind her daughter and everyone else that this isn't just drama. It's spiritual warfare in disguise. But baby, if you thought that was the end of it, think again. Because Destiny Payton couldn't stay away from the mess either. Even though she's been claiming she doesn't get involved in drama, fans caught her liking shady comments about Melody's live. And she even dropped a few little indirects of her own. It's like she can't help herself. Every time Melody shines, Destiny seems to find a way to sneak into the picture. She acts innocent but clearly enjoys when Melody faces backlash. It's giving bitter ex-friend energy, and fans have noticed. Meanwhile, Letitia and Marceau were somewhere enjoying every bit of the chaos. You already know Tisha probably got on the phone, calling her cousin, then Kimmy, then Stormy, trying to act like she's just catching up but really gossiping about the whole thing. Tisha has never missed a chance to say, "See, Mel ain't as perfect as y'all think." But nobody ever said Melody was perfect. They just said she's real. And Marceau? He's the king of stirring the pot while pretending to mind his business. He's been laughing on live, cracking jokes about TikTok lawyers and people who think they can say anything online. Classic Marceau behavior, acting detached while enjoying the spectacle. Now, Kimmy Scott, bless her heart, is once again trying to be the peacemaker. Word on the street is that Kimmy told folks to stop taking everything so personal, that Melody's just expressing her truth and people need to stop twisting it. Kimmy has always been the calm voice in the group. She tries to see both sides, even when she's tired of being in the middle. And truth be told, she probably is exhausted from trying to keep peace in a group that thrives on drama. Because let's face it, half the people in this circle live for mess. Stormy Steele, though, she didn't bite her tongue. She went live and said exactly what she felt. She said she's rocking with Melody, period. She said people don't know half the stuff that's been said about Mel behind closed doors and that her friend's been quiet long enough. That kind of loyalty is rare in Huntsville. Stormy has watched Melody get dragged, misrepresented, and disrespected for years. So when she finally said enough is enough, fans loved her for it. The millimeters flooded her comments with hearts and fire emojis, thanking her for standing with Mel when so many others pretend to be neutral. But here's the funny part, the Fletchers really thought they could go toe-to-toe with Melody online. Baby, you can't outclass her. You can't outpray her. You can't outwork her. She's the queen of composure and the master of subtle shade. So while they were scrambling to defend themselves, Melody was out here glowing, posting her kids, promoting her business, and acting completely unbothered. That's what real peace looks like. She's learned that the best response to fake people is success. And no matter how much they talk, she keeps elevating. See, Melody doesn't just lash out for no reason. She's strategic with her words. Every time she speaks, it's measured, intentional, and honest. So when she finally decided to address this situation, it wasn't random, it was because she'd reached her breaking point. People have been testing her for years. From Martell's betrayal to fake friendships to online rumors, she's dealt with it all while maintaining her composure. So this TikTok wasn't just shade. It was a release, a way of saying, I see you. I've heard you. And I'm done pretending. And now, the aftermath is even more dramatic. Word going around says Nell's been telling production that she doesn't feel safe filming around Melody after that live. Safe from what? Nobody threatened her. She just doesn't like being called out. That's the problem, people love to dish it out but can't take it when the truth gets exposed. Now she's allegedly playing victim, saying she doesn't want to be in the same space as Melody. It's giving performative innocence. And of course, Carlos King is probably watching this play out with the biggest grin on his face. He's a producer, he knows drama when he sees it. This TikTok situation has given him pure gold for the next season. Ratings have been dipping, and now, thanks to Melody's unfiltered honesty, everybody's talking again. People are already anticipating the moment when Melody and Nell come face to face. The tension alone will be must-see TV. While all this has been going down, Melody hasn't changed her energy. She's been posting little motivational quotes, showing love to her kids, and thanking God for removing fake people from her life. You can tell she's calm, but she's aware. She's not blind to the shade or the whispers, she just chooses not to feed into it. That power. When you can stay peaceful while everyone around you is panicking, you've already won. And that's what drives her haters crazy. Because no matter what they do, they can't break her. They can gossip, they can team up, they can twist her words, but Melody Shari always lands on her feet. That's what happens when your foundation is strong. And let's be honest, people in Huntsville have been threatened by that strength from day one. She's independent, successful, and confident. She doesn't need validation from anyone, and that's what makes her dangerous in their eyes. This whole TikTok situation just revealed what's really been going on behind closed doors. It exposed who's real and who's been pretending. Melody didn't need to name names because the guilty already identified themselves through their reactions. That's the power of truth, it makes liars reveal themselves. And now, everyone's watching to see how this plays out when filming resumes. But one thing's for sure, Melody's not backing down anymore. The old Mel might have stayed silent, but this new version is speaking up, standing tall, and protecting her peace. She's not going to keep pretending everything's fine just to keep others comfortable. The mask has been ripped off, and Huntsville's fakeness has been exposed. So while the Fletchers are out here doing damage control, Martell's lurking in the shadows, and Destiny's pretending not to care, Melody's still thriving. She's focused on her kids, her businesses, and her faith. And honestly, that's the ultimate revenge, peace and success in the face of chaos. Because at the end of the day, the truth doesn't need defending. It just needs time to come to light. And Melody Shari has proven once again that no matter how much people try to dim her light, she's always going to shine brighter. And in a city full of fake smiles and hidden agendas, that kind of authenticity will always win.